Parish President remarks and report. President Jewell.
It's always fun going after Dwayne. Okay, real quick, we're going to, just since the annual plan for CPRA is kind of moving through, they're almost pencils down on the annual plan, just to give you a brief kind of synopsis and a glimpse of what's inside. Obviously from last year, they do talk about the rock project as well as the shoreline protection project, which was in La Branch, which was two big projects that are on Lake Pontchartrain side of the basin. Now remember, St. Charles Parish, for half the east bank is with the Pontchartrain Basin, and the south shore, or the west bank, is with the Barataria Basin. So we acknowledge there's a little quote in there about just how excited we are that this project is moving forward. Over $80 million of investment between those two projects, the CPRA project being close to 60 and the rock project being about 24 million. Okay, we have a lot of active projects in the plan. You can see the southeast region there. Just go ahead and skip to the next one, Sam. Just as another list, and I just want to list them out for you. We'll go to the table. Okay, we got the Des Allemands boat launch. Some of these, and I'll preface with some of these projects we are actively handling. Some of them are being handled by the levee district, but they are all tied to St. Charles Parish in some way. So the Des Allemands boat launch, there's $1.8 million in the annual plan, so they're working that. Cousins Pump Station, we have $16.8 million. The Lake Salvador Shoreline Protection Project, that's $4 million of engineering and design. That is directly from the SHIELD plan. So when we were creating the SHIELD plan and we had to produce something for the annual plan, we worked with Royal, and so before the SHIELD plan was even finished, we were able to secure $4 million. That's a 1,500% return on our investment that we had last year, and we know that there's a lot more opportunity out there. That's going to be on the engineering design again. The Bay Des Allemands floodgate, $91.5 million on that. When you look at Crawford Canal Pump Station slash Sunset, $6 million. The Sunset Funnel Protection Project, another $5.5 million. Muntz Pump Stations, $11.6 million. I want to preface that this $137 million that's in the annual plan is not all in FY27. So it's spread out between FY27, 28, and 29. But we have $137 million in there, a real testament to the work that we're doing. And I think really as a parish, it's more north, away from the coastline, and having less issues than you see than some of our folks further south who are all the way down and on the front lines. I think we are doing a pretty good job of punching above our weight class, but we want to work really hard to get those numbers up even more and start securing some more construction dollars. We added a couple other projects that are in here, not technically in St. Charles Parish, but that we're actively monitoring very closely. So the Upper Barataria Basin Hydraulic Restoration / Mississippi River Diversion Project, we call that the Upper Basin Diversion. That's where the Davis diversion was supposed to go originally, and through negotiation and a lot of thought and a lot of argument, it got moved to where it is now. But we know we still need a diversion in that upper basin because we're seeing saltwater intrusion into that freshwater basin that is having a significant impact. I've talked to a lot of the fishermen out there. A lot of the fishermen who were once opposed to the Davis diversion are now understanding that we do actually need something to restore that hydrology from the Mississippi River into the upper basin. So we're going to be working on doing the study starting this year. That'll probably be a 2-year process in hopes that we can start getting an appropriation around fiscal year 2029 from not only the state but from Congress. So going to be working with that very closely, and that project's going to be looking at where along the river it's going to go, where the outfall is going to go, what size of a diversion it needs to be. But we'll be monitoring that very closely, and then working to get a project authorized through WRDA. Okay, last week I had the pleasure of meeting with several of our parish presidents, along with our new mayor in New Orleans, Elena Moreno, and we just discussed a lot of the benefits that New Orleans as a city brings to the metropolitan area. And whether we like it or not, when New Orleans is successful, that success spills over into the region. So working with her to really develop a regional approach and working together to make sure that they're successful, we're successful, and that we all move forward together. But it was a particularly productive meeting, and I look forward to having more of them. In fact, we get to host the next one, so we'll be working with her and her office as well as the other parish presidents to make sure that we continue that. Okay, Public Works, after the parades and ensuring all the safety for those parades, Public Works crews stayed on site to clear the parade route and remove debris from both the Luling and Des Allemands parade routes. And we want to just say, again, we sincerely appreciate those crews and all they do to make sure that those parades can happen and then get cleaned up afterwards. We had our annual Mardi Gras dance. Each year, Parks and Recreation is proud to host the Primetime Seniors Mardi Gras dance, as well as the Arc of St. Charles Mardi Gras Ball at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center. Thanks to our Parks and Recreation staff, our Council on Aging, the United Way, the SCP School Foundation, who all go above and beyond to make both of those events very, very good each year. And I think for the Primetime Senior Mardi Gras dance, Dwayne, I think we had a record, about 400 people who were there, and we were not expecting that many, but it was a good problem to have. Okay, on to some infrastructure projects. Months 1 and months 2 pump stations are moving along. The concrete foundations have been installed along the levee, and those are going to provide basically where the discharge pipes are going to mount, as well as a road across the top of them, so both the Corps and others who have to utilize that access will be able to continue to utilize that. So there'll be somewhat of a safety bridge on top of that, those discharge pipes, which will be resting on a foundation on top of the levee. They're currently preparing rebar and forms for the frontal wall of the concrete sump. The front wall, the 2 outer walls, and 3 internal guide and separation walls will all be placed during a single major concrete pour to ensure structural integrity and efficiency. Additionally, 90 feet of frontal sheet piles with whalers have been installed to stabilize lateral loads and support the height of the levee throughout the construction. These structural components are critical to maintaining safety and the long-term durability as the work on this project progresses. Okay, our employees attended and completed a bloodborne pathogen safety training to reinforce proper procedures for handling potential exposures in the field. Obviously, we know that safety is our number one priority out there, and if there is an accident, we want to make sure our employees know what to do in that accident to make sure that they protect themselves and their coworkers while they perform essential services. Okay, Sunset Pump Station. We got a ribbon cutting coming up on March 16th. The bar screen cleaners are in place. That project has been closed out. March 16th at 10 a.m. We're going to be wrapping it up with our ribbon cutting. If you recall, we removed about 70,000 cubic yards of dirt from the canal, which has widened it significantly, and then added the bar screen cleaners, which will prevent in the future having our employees and crews having to manually use an excavator to do that, which in many cases has been hazardous in high winds or lightning. So this is our last major station that does not have bar screen cleaners, and now we're glad to have that. And we built it and constructed it in such a way that when we do the new pumps and engine upgrades at Sunset, that this station and the width of the canal and everything will still be able to feed those pumps. Okay, Trash Bash 2026, mark your calendars for the 18th. Our Trash Bash event is going to be on Saturday, April 18th, starting at 8:30 a.m. Registration for the event will open on Monday, March 9th, online at www.stcharlesparish.gov/trashbash. We'll put out some more information on that in the days and weeks to come. Volunteers signing up for Trash Bash can choose their own cleanup site or be assigned a cleanup site. Equipment will be distributed the week of Trash Bash. After the cleanup, participants will return their equipment and a post-event celebration will take place beginning at 11:30 a.m. at the Edward A. Dufresne Community Center. Swamp School registration. Get ready for another fun year of Swamp School. This is always a big one that fills up really quickly. Registration will open beginning at 12 a.m. on March 7th. That's Saturday, March 7th, 12 a.m. If you're not up at 12 a.m. to register, your kid's not getting in. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just not going to happen because it fills up really quickly. So sleep in late that morning and stay up late that night because you're going to have to do it that way. Registration for the week-long camp costs $200 per child. Registration for each subsequent session will open each Saturday in March. www.scpparksandrec.com for more information. Camper registration takes place, again, on a first-come, first-served basis. The Department of Parks and Rec will also release information regarding other summer camp opportunities in the coming weeks. The Veterans Memorial Plaza brick price reduction. So in honor of America 250, throughout this year, our commemorative bricks for veterans at the Memorial Plaza will be reduced to a price of $50. They were regularly once $150. Bricks can be purchased in honor of a veteran or in memory of a loved one who served. This is a meaningful way for St. Charles Parish families to ensure that their veterans' legacy lives on in our community, or for a local business to get involved as we mark our 250 years as a nation. Residents can download an order form at www.stcharlesparish.gov/bricks. They can come to the courthouse and get a brick form, or they can also go to the Parks and Recreation Department and receive an order form. Last but certainly not least, sales tax in January were up 14.5% from January of last year, a total increase of $578,552. That's a great start to the new year. We hope that continues.